In this video, I'm going to go over hip mobilizations using a resistance band followed by hip activation exercises. This first movement is hip lateral distraction while mobilizing into internal rotation. So put a band around the rig and then get it as close to the hip crease as possible. You're going to scoot away from the rig until you feel a nice pull on that hip. You could try it first in that half kneeling position, and then you can also try this in more of like a quadruped position. So again, the band is pulling the hip laterally, and then you can set your hip in neutral or slight internal rotation. From there, you can rock back and forth, or you can do a tension on, tension off, which I'm doing right here. Once you're done with the banded distraction, you're going to get into a quadruped position and then internally rotate both hips. So bring your feet outside of your knees. From there, you're going to gently rock back towards your heels until you feel a stretch deep in the hip. Hold for a few seconds and then rock back forward. So here, each time, just trying to sink back as far as you can, maybe get a little bit further each time. Here I'm demonstrating a hip internal rotation stretch. So this one you're going to hold for an extended period of time, say 30 to 60 seconds. So you're going to sit with your legs extended out in front of you, and then you're going to internally rotate at the hip and bend the knee to about 90 degrees. So the knee comes in as the foot goes out. You should feel that deep in the hip socket. If sitting up isn't too bad and you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can lie back onto your elbows. And you can also try some contract relax, which you'll see me doing here. So pressure on the outside of the knee and you're resisting that pressure, and then you relax. So perform about 3 to 5 seconds each, and each time you should be able to get a little bit further into that stretch. The next one I'm demonstrating here are 90-90 rocks. So you're going to sit with your knees and hips at 90 degrees, put your hands behind you, and then you're going to rock from side to side, or windshield wiper your legs side to side. And you're trying to keep those knees driving out as you bring the legs towards the middle, and then the knees gently go down towards the ground. To make it a little harder, take those hands in front of you, try to sit up nice and tall as you do the rock from side to side. Once you've mastered that, you can then transition up from that rock to a half kneeling position. So here you're going to really mobilize those hips, and you're going to use those muscles in order to do so. What you can also do from that 90-90 position is to actively lift your foot off the ground, and this is going to activate those deep hip rotators. And you should not expect the foot to lift too high off the ground, but I promise you, you will feel those muscles working. Side lying is another alternative to work on that hip internal rotation. Without a band, this is a little bit easier. So your knees are together, knees are bent at 90 degrees, and then you're lifting your foot as high as you can towards the ceiling. Now to take things up a notch, you can put a resistance band around those ankles and perform the same exercise. So knees at 90 degrees, knees together, lifting that top foot up. Try to keep a little tension on the band throughout the entire exercise. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions on each side. If you want to add a little core work into your hip internal rotation program, you can try this one, lying on your back with your knees and hips at 90 degrees, a pillow or a small inflatable ball between your knees, and that resistance band is around your ankles, so knees press in as feet push out. Another alternative is lying on your belly over a pillow, and that band stays around your ankles. This time your hips are in full extension, your knees are at 90 degrees again, and the knees stay still and you're pushing those feet outward.